Now the next few sheets in the set are the construction notes and or details. So if we look here, we zoom in, we can see that we've got some general notes. It basically tells us some information about the construction materials. There's curb and gutter information, conditions for guardrail, some grading notes. So, all areas to be filled within buildable area ponds, sediments must be backfilled with a structural fill and compacted to 95% compaction. So you can see that we have to put in certain information there. There's some survey data here, and then some other, bold notes that talks about what details on the sheet supersede the current version of the Henrico County design manual. So the county has its own design manual, and you can see that by these details here. So they'll put out these details, and what these details do is depict how certain features need to be built. So you can see the extra there is that they're not using this. And what this is a lot of times the engineers will have this sheet already pre-made, and they just drop it in a set of plans, and then they just X out the ones that don't apply. So here is the standard entrance apron. Shows the the dimensions of how this apron should be built. Same thing here with the curb and gutter. So it's going to tell us we got an 18-inch curb, looks like a 5-inch top there, and a 6-inch curb reveal. What the bottom and stone information is. So you can see here that from the edge of pavement out to the back of a curb, a foot past, is actually going to be where they're going to cut out for their earthwork. So they're actually going to have to cut a foot back beyond the curb and gutter. Up here we've got a different roll face curb and gutter that isn't being used. Up top we've got some pipe placement for replacement for the trench. So what our backfill and the property. So this information here would be great in the utility module inside a business center. We'd be able to put this information in and create this trench, and then do a takeoff report that tells us how much material is going to be in each of the utilities that we'll talk about later. Some other signage information that goes into these plans. But these are the details. If we go to the next page, you'll see there's some additional details. And one of the pieces I want to point out on this page is this over here, which is the typical roadway. So I mentioned in the overall, we have the center line bearing and distance. And on this page, we actually have the road cross section. So this is the typical cross section of the road. This tells us that, here's where the stone base is going to be. The thickness of the base here is down here. So we're going to have a 1 foot or 1 inch sub base aggregate with a base of 8 inches and then a surface course of 2 inches. So it shows us our cross slope and then our widths of the standard road with the curb and gutter as well. So this information here is what we would use to build the road network. This down here is, the widening for the entrance road, and then here is the road extension for this particular road. So each one of these sections here is going to be used to build that portion of the road. Over here, there's some stop sign information, some other details for under drain and the handicap ramps as well. If we go to the next page, you can see there's some storm sewer for the manholes. So a lot of details that cover the utilities. So like what the water line, curb and gutter, water line, fire hydrants, blocking of the water line. And then the next page, again, more details depicting more of the utilities on that project. So a lot of information, a lot of details that can be extracted from this. So a lot of this is for takeoff purposes. And then we get into the next set of sheets, which will be the erosion control measures. And we'll talk about that next.